One of the biggest and hardest things for type A personalities to do is to give yourself permission to. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing great. It's your friend Jonathan Frederick on the Heart Healthy Hustle Fantastic Friday short form episode. Welcome. I have a story for you. I'd say a year and a half, maybe 2.5 years ago, I found a book called Entrepreneurial Personality Type. You may be surprised to find you are very much aligned with this, what this guy is hypothesizing in his book. It's not a long read. It's more or less an ebook format where you can read it in a day, sit down and finish it quickly. He did that on purpose because entrepreneurs like to achieve things. They like to get things done. And they like that small, I finished a chapter. I can keep reading. I finished a chapter. I can keep reading. That's one of the traits of an entrepreneur. And he doesn't necessarily talk about that in the book, but he does reflect it in his writing style. So I've been getting scammer calls a lot. If anyone has a solution to that other than blocking a million numbers, let me know. Thank you. Those are not fun. Yeah, this story. So I find this book online because I'm following this guy, Alex Scharf, and I don't agree with everything he says or all of his beliefs, of course, but he does have this book where he talks about entrepreneurs and the personality type that entrepreneurs typically reflect. A big thing he's a proponent of is decreasing pressure and noise. Decreasing pressure and noise. That is what it sounds like. It's literally decreasing the pressure in your environment and atmosphere, the noise, both physically and I don't know if the word would be metaphysically, just decreasing that pressure and noise to where you can operate at an optimal level. Pressure and noise can be anything from unresolved conflicts, that's a good example of one, expectations placed upon you by someone that is a higher up for your job, maybe, whatever that is. Noise, things like atmospheric accoustations on your eardrums. And what I mean by that sounds extreme because it kind of is. He makes a really good point in his book about how important it is to protect yourself from subconscious accoustations. He doesn't call it that, but I'm calling it that. For example, you go to an airport. If you wear noise-canceling headphones while you're in that airport, and then you take them off for 3 seconds, there's a roaring noise in an airport. It's very loud. What I found very interesting is when I wear my noise-canceling headphones and walk on through airports with my tunes on, I feel way more calm. I feel more focused. My blood pressure remains virtually unaffected, and I can get to my gate on time. I'm relaxed. I can sit down. I'm very aware of my surroundings. I feel grounded. I don't feel stressed out or hectic. The point of decreasing pressure and noise and what that means for what that can mean for your life. I'm excited to, if you haven't heard of this topic, start with your immediate surroundings. Is your room clean? And by clean, I mean, is it optimally functional for you? Is your desk or workspace facilitating productivity for you? Is your laundry clean? Decreasing pressure and noise can also mean that you accept some compromises, whereas for me, I batch my laundry. So once a week, I'll wash all my laundry, 2 loads. I'll pile my laundry in the basket and it gets a little overflowed. I don't let it spew all over the floor. And then once a week, a Saturday night typically, I'll wash all my laundry. This allows me to literally not care or think about my laundry for the whole week. I don't have to think about, basket's getting full. I better go wash that. I can put it out of my mind until Saturday night when I know, today's laundry day. So that just allows that mental real estate to be freed up, to not worry about it, not think about it, and not give a rip about it until I have to, because I've decided in advance where and when I'm going to take care of that responsibility. That's a very good example of decreasing pressure and noise. Another example might be something like this. You have a big project coming due. You really want to get it done by 2019, and you're worried because you have a lot of stuff coming up with traveling, trips, holidays, family, work. A way to help decrease the pressure and noise that you are imminently going to feel in that short month and a half until the year end, in that short year-end crunch, is to finish it ahead of time or take care of the heaviest, hardest parts of those responsibilities prior to them being due. That is a perfect example. I feel almost visceral for those of us who've ever done something like a science fair back in high school or something like that, or a crazy big work project or a thesis in grads, whatever it is. You get the point. There's a sense of relief, almost bliss, when you realize that you're scotch-free because you took care of things ahead of time. Now, it's not always going to work. It can be as hardworking and as planner as you want to be, but sometimes there will be things that just come up, how to handle those. That's one of the biggest reasons to focus on decreasing pressure and noise. If you do that, then when something comes up that's really unexpected, you're more prepared to handle it in a tactful way, in an appropriate manner. You're more grounded. You're ready for it. Say, okay, bring it. You say, okay, here we go. Here it comes. Oh, I saw that coming 3 seconds ago because I had the decreased pressure and noise already. But if you're always reacting, you're always responding, and you're not living proactively, then when that thing comes in, it'll whack you in the face before you see it. You know what I'm saying? So, whoa, look out. Whoa, no, too late. Got you right there. Oh, right in the kisser. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking to avoid, 100% avoid. Yeah, I hope this episode is helpful to you guys. It changed my life. One of the biggest and hardest things for type A personalities to do is to give yourself permission to decrease the pressure and noise. Give yourself permission to say no to certain things. If you don't take care of yourself first and foremost, you're not going to be able to perform at the highest level to then help others in your life who mean the most to you. And that's so key. One of my mentors, he told me last year, he said, "You're pouring so much out into other people, Jonathan. You are doing so much." And this was before I had the podcast going. He's like, "You're working out all the time. You're doing sales. You're going door to door. You're talking with people. You're going to conferences. You're pouring into people. You're lifting others up. Doing all this stuff." I just let him know what my life looked like at the time. And he said, "Who's pouring into you? How are you filling up your cup?" He knew my stance as a believer, as a Christian. And that's how I keep my cup filled, and that's where my strength comes from. It comes from the Lord, and that's a fact. I know that, and I proclaim that with pride because it's a fact, and there's no other explanation. And he was pushing me, though, past just my faith. He was asking me, physically speaking, really, who's pouring into you? Who is pouring into you? Where are you being served or allowing yourself to be taken care of? I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, let me give you an example. He says, I go and I get my hair cut for $30 at this barber. And some of you may think that's a cheap haircut. Some of you may think that's way more than you spend at Supercuts for $10, whatever it is. But his point was, he goes to this really cool barber. They give him a nice craft beer. It's a fun experience downtown. It's like a man's man barber shop. And they do a great haircut. They talk with you. They make you feel at home. It's a good time. And they take good care of you. And they give you extra attention. And they do a great job. It's not just a haircut. They aim to fill you up socially as well. And they do a bang up job of it. His point was, go find a barber that you can do this. Like, find something where people will pour into you. Allow yourself to more or less consider it a treating of yourself. So treat yourself. So I wanted this to be in this episode because I didn't realize how much pressure and noise I had been living with and how it was negatively impacting my relationships and my own life. If you are in the similar boat, I want you to pick something you can do that is for you during this holiday season. And it might sound selfish, but so, you know what? At the end of the day, the holiday season is largely about giving, being there for your family. I'm just saying, find at least one thing where you're prioritizing yourself and do that for yourself and see how you feel after. It may feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that. It's selfish. I should spend this money and time on my family. And while that may be partially true, you also have to understand this isn't just for you. Even though you're telling yourself it is, after you do it, you're going to have a fuller cup. You're going to be able to give more passionately to those you love and those you care about. I've experienced it myself, and I would advise anybody who hasn't tried it to give it a go. If you have not experienced a deep tissue massage in years or months, go grab one. 90 minutes, invest in it. It's worth the price. And if you ever have a price obligation, this is something I've been learning as well. Objection, and you're like, this is expensive. I'm not spending $90 for a 90-minute massage. Ask yourself, why not? Are you not worth it? Is your health not worth that to you? And you say, oh, well, I need this for a budget. Hold on. Are you okay with spending that money on yourself? There's a deeper issue at hand here. So, man, I'm not going to get into that on this episode. Just want you to think about that. I wasn't aware of that before. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't do anything. I'm literally just output, And at the time I had been doing YouTube videos, so similar to the podcast in terms of content creation. If you really adopt this, it will change your life. I think you can pick up a copy of Charfin's book. It's free. At least it was. It's a short read. If not, just send me an email. I can ask him if we can send you out a copy of that. He talks all about this, and when you decrease pressure and noise, how it can help you figure out what you are doing and do it better. It decreases any anxieties. It decreases the likelihood of chaos in your life. And this is what noise is to me. Noise can be physical, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional. Breaking down noise into those three areas is what it comes down to in my mind. A way to break out of pressure and noise. If you have a ton of that in your life, you're thinking, man, I work Monday through Saturday. I work long hours. I have a ton of family responsibility. I'm starting my business. A ton of stuff going on. So much stuff going on. One way to help break out of that is to implement rhythms, routines, and habits. This is the only way. Either that or you cut something out of your life. You cut out that new business, or that's really one of the only optional things to cut out anyway. You have to decide, okay, you know what? Let me try this rhythms thing. Let me implement some rhythms. Let me implement some routines. So you have to first believe that you can do this. Look into the power of habit. You can get this book for free. Just jump onto triplehAudiobook.com. That's Triple H, as in Heart Healthy Hustle, audiobook.com. And it will give you a free copy on audible.com of any book that you want. You can get The Power of Habit. I would recommend doing this right after this episode ends if you haven't heard the book yet. The reason is Charles Duhigg's the author, and many business owners, entrepreneurs, or even authors, writers, anybody will tell you, man, that book is helpful. If you believe you can implement a new habit, new routine, new rhythm, you can do it. So just start small. Ask yourself, can I just? What does that mean? Can I just do one push-up today? Can I just work out for 30 seconds? Can I just write 5 words? Can I just get up 5 minutes earlier? Can I just? And then if you keep doing that, keep asking yourself that question every single day. Don't just do it once. That a month later, your life may look very different, or at least somewhat different. And then that small piece of progress is enough to push you into a momentum, inertia, into that next, can I just 10 minutes? Can I just 1 minute of working out? Can I just get up an hour earlier? And then you'll see all these positive effects, but it doesn't happen overnight. And that's why we're going to do an episode on New Year's BS resolutions, because they don't work. And this is why. It's largely because the habits aren't there. The rhythms aren't there. So instead of focusing on what resolution am I going to do this year, what habit am I going to kick that's a bad habit, I want you to focus on what can I do to learn how to implement rhythms and how to implement new habits and routines. Because when you do that, it will help you to have the self-awareness and understanding around what a habit is and how to master it. So we're all learning this. I'm no pro at this at all. I'm sharing what I've been shared with, and I hope it helps you today on this fantastic Friday episode. I want to invite you to our Facebook group. I'm really excited. I started a community. It's called the Heart Healthy Hustle Podcast Community. It's on Facebook. It's free to join, free to be a member. It's a place where everybody who's a diehard listener of the show gathers and hangs out. Every week we do a Facebook live call with somebody from the community. We've already done one with our friend Brittany. And bonus content, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Heart Healthy Hustle. There's a ton of stuff on there, stories every single day. Sometimes we'll jump on an Instagram live. Yesterday we had Mikey B3, who's the founder of Poochie Butter, which is a natural peanut butter for dogs, and we're actually going to have him on as a guest on the Heart Healthy Hustle podcast. If you're interested, you can find this community at thehearthealthyhustle.com/Facebook. Again, that's thehearthealthyhustle.com/Facebook. That's going to do it for me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and crush it. Keep working, press on, and make sure to take some rest this weekend if you need it, and get back to crushing it on Monday. I will see you then. Godspeed.